Hey, welcome to Kats Creations, not live on a Friday night, but now we are live on a Tuesday night. So I want to welcome you to my crazy 7-day marathon. So I thought I would give you a look at some amazing designs that I have been making or can make as custom orders, tonight being one of them. So tonight's theme is The Nightmare Before Christmas. I have always gets requests every Christmas to either around Halloween time to make a Jack Skellington wreath or to do one that's multi-purpose so that they can hang it up at Halloween or hang it up at Christmas, because if you've seen the movie, Jack takes over Christmas, right? So we're going to be using, this is a 24-inch posable Jack Skellington plush. We're also going to be using the sign that says, what does it say?
A scary Christmas to all, and to all a good fright.
Right. So the sign came from, hold on a second and I will tell you, Diamond Dust Signs. They are on Etsy. So it took me a while from placing the order to actually receiving the sign. So this design has been on the books for a while, but I had to keep moving it back until I had everything necessary. We're using 8 different kinds of ribbon in red, white, and black. We're using a 14-inch wire work frame wreath with the red plushy tinsel ties on it. We're going to be using red and white 10-inch Deco mesh cut to 20-inch pieces. So this will be used as ruffles throughout to kind of give us a very nice full plushy base for Jack to sit on. And then we're gonna top it off, like I said, with our ribbons, our bows. We'll add a bow, and then we have some fun embellishments to kind of just tie the theme all in together. So this is the first of 7 tutorials that are going to be running consecutively from now through next Monday. So every day, so except for Friday and Sunday, they're all at 6 p.m. Friday it goes back to Friday at 5, and then on Sunday it goes, I think I'm starting that one at 7, just because I already have a 5 o'clock private group live. Sometimes that'll go long, sometimes it won't, and then I've got to switch out materials so that we can follow that up with the Sunday live. And then we end it Monday at 7.
Yep.
So, do we have anybody with us?
Yeah, we have Audrey, Gail, Lindy, Julie, Dawn, Janet, Trisha, Karen, Tracy, Rose, Socorro, Evie, Cynthia, Jane, Gail, Karen, Sue, and that's about it so far.
Okay, perfect. So like I said, we're using a 14-inch, this is a work frame wreath. You can get these at any of your Joann's, Hobby Lobbies, Michael's. Sometimes they have the thinner ties. This one just happens to have the plushier ties. So sometimes I like using the ones with the furrier ties because they can be incorporated into the design if you kind of pair this with everything else. So the fact that we're going red and white, I think that we're going to be able to leave these intact, especially when you see what I choose to do with the ribbons tonight. Because I'm tired of always doing like tails and half bows. So we're mixing it up tonight. So tonight should be something a little bit different. So if you guys have questions, let me know. If you're seeing the live button up in this corner, is this it?
Yeah, like way over there.
Live's way over here?
Yeah.
So if it's live here, you're live. If you don't see the live, you're on a replay. Or if you're catching this tonight and we happen to get it posted tonight and you're on YouTube, you're not on a live YouTube video, you're just on the Facebook replay. So I want to invite you that if you are not a YouTube subscriber to head on over to YouTube and hit the subscribe button. We're going to be doing a fun giveaway here pretty soon to try to boost some of my numbers up on YouTube a little bit. But it's also a way to thank all my YouTube subscribers who are amazing, that follow me from YouTube here and then from here back to YouTube. So YouTube sometimes is an easier way to find all the public videos if you're not sharing them to the page. And since this is a public video, you can go ahead and click the little share button. Where's the share button? Right here? I'm trying to guess like where it would be. Like share right here on your phone.
No, share is, I think, on the other side down below.
Oh,
Yeah.
wherever the share button is. Feel free to share it. It's a public video. So if you like the design and want to do something for someone in your home or family and friends that totally loves Jack, this might be the design for you. Jack did come from Amazon, so I knew what I wanted, so I had to look for them. I wanted one big enough that it wasn't too small to get lost into the design, and I wanted it to be posable. So this way, whoever has it, they can pose it whatever way they want. You can hold whatever they want. So we're gonna go ahead and get started with the design. Like I said, we're taking 10-inch red and white Deco mesh, cut them into 20-inch pieces with 18 pipe cleaners. That gives us exactly 360 inches. So it uses up an entire roll of Deco mesh. So I'm grabbing the ones, obviously the tighter the curl, these are the ones a little bit closer to the center of my roll.
And since we're on a different day, on Tuesday, anyone that's new out there to the lives, please let us know if you're new, first time watching. Let us know what city and state you're from.
Prayers are out for those of you that are slowly getting impacted by the hurricane or who are on hurricane watch right now down in, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida. So we're praying that it just kind of fizzles out. It was like all, an awful lot of nothing, and then it just kind of heads back out to sea. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask.
Is that a Deco mesh from Craft Outlet?
This is from Craft Outlet, yeah. I like using the, I love Craft Outlet Deco mesh. I like any of the online vendor Deco meshes actually because they are a really good quality Deco mesh. Once you do Craft Outlet or the Reshop Trendy Free Deco Exchange, you'll never want to go back to what you can find in your retail stores. So this is just our base so that we have a color contrast going with Jack. I was trying to decide, did I want to go red snowball mesh? That's what I had out here first. I had one that was black with red and white stripes in it, but that just kind of, I don't know, just kind of looked really muddy. So generally what I'll do is I'll take the Deco mesh, take my sign, place my Deco mesh behind my sign like this, and then behind my actual, whatever I'm going to put in the wreath, and look and see how does this play against them. Do they get lost in it? Does it complement them? Is it way off base? And then once I have that figured out, then I can pretty much go to town and start doing this.
Missy said it's my second live and excited I was able to see one from Macon, Georgia.
Oh, thanks for joining us.
Welcome, Missy.
Prayers to you that you are, hopefully you're not impacted, because I know down in Georgia it is.
Yep, well, Peggy's on. Hi, Peggy.
Hi, Peggy.
And then we've got Karen, Simi,
okay.
And Julie. Hi, Julie.
Hi.
Victoria said, hello, it's been a while since I've been on for wreath making from Canton, Ohio. Hi, Victoria.
Welcome. Keep wanting to say Friday night. All day I kept telling myself it's not Friday, and I'm like, well,
yeah,
like
it's
Friday.
Tuesday, it's weird. And LaRuth says, hi, Kat from Lumberton, North Carolina.
Oh, welcome.
And Mary Wilson's from Las Vegas.
Not too far from us. She's about 3 hours from us. We're down in Victorville.
Yeah.
So most people in Las Vegas know where Victorville is.
Tara earlier said, hi, Kat and Steve, happy I'm going to watch.
Yay. So how many of you are Nightmare Before Christmas fans or know somebody who is a Nightmare Before Christmas fan?
Mm-hmm. Got Mary from Bourbonnais, Illinois.
Okay.
And Louise said, hi, I always enjoy watching you.
Thank you.
Linda says, hello from Mississippi.
Wow.
And obviously, because this is a copyrighted Jack, you can make it for a private sale.
Yes, you can.
But you cannot say that you're selling it on Etsy, right?
Correct. Yeah, I already had, once I posted this out there that's what we were doing, the emails began, the text messages began. Oh my God, how are you able to do this? We talk about trademark, we talk about licensing, and it's like you can do a custom order for anyone with anything. Doesn't matter. You can go out. It's the reason why I could go to Amazon and purchase a Jack Skellington off of an Amazon retailer. It's for a private personal sale. So I'm not going to sit here and mass produce these and post them all on my shop, because then at that point I'm infringing on the copyright laws, because I'm utilizing this image to make sales, multiple sales on the item.
But if people reach out to you and want
Yes.
a particular wreath, you can make them and sell them all day long.
Yeah, and that's why I always encourage you to share some of the custom orders you do, because sometimes people get a little gun shy when you say, oh, if you want a custom order, you know, reach out. People think, well, that's just going to push the price through the roof. Realistically, it doesn't. It just depends on what you want and how elaborate you want it. But a lot of times I'll just work with people and find out, you know, do you have a budget in mind with what you wanted? And then we'll work from there. I try really hard to stay within a customer's budget because I understand, you know.
Lisa said this is one of her son's favorite movies. I love this.
Aww, very cool.
Cheryl said I got confused and was sitting on the private group. Well, I'm glad you jumped on over.
Yeah, I tried to go to the private group. I think I went around 4 o'clock and I said, hey guys, just remember tonight we're going to be in the public group. Here's the design, so don't forget.
You know, this is a great segue. She said, when do you decide to do the ruffle effect you're doing now compared to the rolling Deco mesh or the curl method? I am new to this and want to learn, so you can always join your private group.
Yes, because we go over all of that stuff in the private group, but I think it's experience. It's knowing what kind of look are you looking for. Like for me, I wanted flat, full, so flat and wide. So that means that I can't do poof. I can't really go curls. If I want my ribbons to lay more flat, I need to kind of create a base that is more flat but wider. So for me, that could have been, what else could I have done? I'm trying to think. I was thinking about doing the whole curl and weave that I taught the public group how to do. I think it was last week or the week before. But because Jack is so big, whereas the Grinch wasn't quite as big, I just decided to do ruffle. It's a lot easier. It's the very first method. I would always encourage people who are new to wreath making and want to start deco mesh wreathing. This is the perfect method to start with. It's super easy. People call it scrunching, bow tie, because when you look at, ruffles.
And that's 20-inch?
20-inch cuts.
20-inch cuts.
Yeah, I only had one roll of the red and white, so I couldn't go a little bit longer, a little bit fluffier. So I just figured, you know what, we'll do the 20-inch cuts and just get rid of the whole thing, because there's no point in saving, what is that, like maybe 30 or 40 inches on a roll.
Yep, so Mary, it's obviously a 10-inch deco mesh cut to 20 inches. Helena, it is I think that's a 16-inch wreath form, right? 14. It's a 14-inch? Work form. Okay.
Yeah, this one's only 14. So it's the exact same size as a Dollar Tree wreath form would be. So if you want to do the Dollar Tree wreath form and line it with your pipe cleaners, this method will work just as well for you. You just won't have the big fuzzies sticking up. You'll just have the pipe cleaners, but that could work as well. And sometimes I try to just mix it up so people don't think, oh, all she does is Dollar Tree wreath forms. It's like, I can do all of them. It's just sometimes I look at who my viewers are. Not everyone can go out. Like, not everybody can go to Craft Outlet and spend a ton of money on supplies. Some people just want to try it, see if it's something they enjoy. So it's good to keep costs down a bit.
Yep. Kathleen said, my husband has a full calf nightmare before Christmas tattoo.
Oh, really?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Carol said, hi, good evening from Lake Village, Indiana.
Welcome, Carol.
Dania said, watching from Tennessee.
Thanks for joining down in Tennessee.
Brenda's on. Hi, Brenda.
Hi, Brenda.
Bethany said, hi from Houston, Texas.
Wow.
Mary said, as always, She says, I can't wait to see the finished product, and I love Ruffle too. It goes so fast.
It does, and that's why it's perfect for beginners. So if you're ever thinking about like offering a wreath making class in your community, like go to a community center and offer, you know, to do a wreath making class, that's definitely something people can do during their slow periods. And the ruffle technique, just like this, is so easy for people to learn. It was what I taught my friend Jackie how to make when we did a co-create. Like I taught her during one of my lives, and she had never done it before, to show that it is as easy, you know, as it looks.
Right.
Just gotta take some time. And I did cut my Deco mesh with the wood burning tool, so we should have very little fraying. If we have any fraying, it's probably going to come from the little tinsel twist ties that are on here, because they have a tendency of, like Christmas tree things, they fall off.
Katie said, Facebook finally let me in, no problem.
Wow.
Jewel said hi from Indiana. Hi, Katie. Patty said hey from Bedford, Indiana. Hi, Patty.
Hi, thanks for joining us.
She said, I love the fuzzy work wreath form. She just got a box full.
Yeah, I love these too.
Debbie, you're never late. Remember, we'll post this later so you can always watch the replay.
Exactly. And really, you're just jumping right in when we're just basically doing the whole ruffle. I knew I skipped one right here. So we're just doing 20-inch ruffles. So you just saved yourself a bunch of time by not watching me go through and ruffle 18 different times.
Yeah.
So
Donna said, what size is Jack? He's 20?
he's 24 inches.
24 inches with posable arms and legs.
Yes. So I will be sad to see him go. So unfortunately, I will probably end up having to do a different one later.
Yep.
I love doing Jack.
And you gals can find them anywhere. You can try to find them on Amazon, on eBay. Yep.
Yeah, we talked about that the other day. Remember, eBay is like one of those, if you're looking for a really hard to find item, check eBay. You might pay a little bit more, but like the Grinch, somebody said that was a Dollar General item way long ago, but sadly it's discontinued. So he was kind of like a collector's item. So he is home now.
See me, the 14-inch wreath forms we've had for a long time, but you can get them at Hobby Lobby. You can get them anywhere. You can order them at Craft Outlet, the Wreath Shop.
Yep, Trendy Tree. You
Trendy
can
Tree.
buy. They're not that expensive. I think if you buy them in like
$6?
the little boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I have one more, so I'm trying to find.
Yeah, they're about $5 or $6.
The one that's missing. So I'm just double checking. I have one missing somewhere.
Sarah said I've been doing a lot of ruffle wreath lately. The wood burning tool makes all the difference.
It really does. I think
Yes, it
once you
does.
try it, you're like, I'm never going back to anything. So especially when you're making the angel tree toppers, what a life-saving tool. Okay, I'm just pulling these, making sure. And I could have sworn I counted 18. So I'm just double checking. Make sure that every single one. Sometimes just checking on the back and making sure you've got a ruffle in every single one. And I do. I just have an extra piece of Deco mesh.
Peggy says she has him.
Uh-huh.
She's had him since last year after Christmas sale.
Aww.
Just waiting to be used, so now's a good time to do it.
Could be. So he's actually sitting in a box. So let me move this stuff so we can remove him from his box. So.
Seems like there are a couple of gals over there by Jolie, so they're all trying to get together.
Oh yeah?
They're all talking about how close they live.
That's really good.
Yeah.
I always encourage that if possible. So we're just removing him from the bottom of the box. So, and this is exactly how he comes in his little box. And so he has posable legs and posable arms. So he's actually quite big, and he's got a very full beard. So we're actually going to be wiring him in. So he's going to take up quite a bit of space. So let's let's push him in here. We'll toss this because we don't need the box. So I'm actually wiring him in, and I try really hard to not damage anything like the plush. In the event that the customer wants to take him out and use him somewhere else, and maybe just put the sign in, like just swap them out, I will leave both in so that they can
so
remove
cute.
them.
Christine Shoop said, where did you find them?
Amazon.
Amazon, yep.
Where I find most of the stuff. Like when all else fails, I always try Etsy first, and then when that fails, I will do Amazon, and if I can't find it on Amazon, I will go to Google and do a Google search for something and see if it'll come up on some random site I may not have known. Don't want to choke Jack, but we're wiring him up by the neck, taking out his little tag things.
Missy, there's no particular type of wood burning tool. She does have one on her Amazon affiliate link, right?
Yeah.
But as long as you get one that has like an adjustable little temperature sensor on it.
Yeah, you need to have it to where you can adjust the temperature, and mine is set for 400 degrees.
Yeah.
And you want to make sure you do use it in a place that's ventilated. So in our house, we can open both of the back patio door and the window, and then open our front door, and we get a very good airflow flowing.
Yeah.
So I just tucked the one that we're using around his waist under his belt, and then of course conveniently the beard will hide the secondary one. So then we can just wire him in so that he sits very nice. It'll be interesting to see how people pose them. Like what position do they stick them in. So I use 22 gauge wire. The reason why I use that is it's thick enough for me to feel.
You could move him way up to the top too, huh?
I could.
Just because he's tall enough.
Yeah, but
Deborah
I don't want him to.
Deborah said, how is the newbies going to sell their products on Etsy when we have hardly any reviews, like me?
Oh, you don't need reviews to sell your products.
And the majority of the customers that buy stay with the seller. No, buyers look for whatever catches their eye.
It truly does, and how you choose to use your social media. I was just looking outside. I think there's a van. Just weird. Is that a van?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll check.
So, it's how you use your social media. I always say that people will buy from those they know, like, and trust. I'm using the phrase coined from Jennifer Allwood, who is my business coach and mentor. And so you have to get out in front of people. You have to let them know who you are and what you're doing and where can they find your stuff. And so being on social media, being social.
It's Jose, our lawnmower.
Really?
So we're going to have some background noise.
Oh, let's hope not. We're having our lawn guy show up at 7 o'clock.
6:20, I know, huh?
Yeah. Okay. So hopefully not. Otherwise, you might have to go out there and tell him.
So, Deborah, yeah, it's really, it's whatever catches the buyer's eye. But she did say that her free shipping is not working, so she's thinking about charging flat rates.
You can try. So what you could do is take off the free shipping guarantee and then just offer free shipping on some items and kind of see which one works. I'm of the same mindset with you. I have had some stuff sell that is part of that whole free shipping thing, but not like it was last year. And I think it's because of sticker shock. People log into your shop, and if they were used to seeing your wreaths from like $50 to $75, and now they're like $100 plus, because you got to factor in shipping. And for me, all of my business is East Coast based. So that is a solid $25 to ship from Southern California all the way to the East Coast. So we're going to take our sign, and I had to make sure his hands were right, so that's why you saw me do this. His hands were actually twisted so that his thumbs were like this. So I had to make him go like this. So he can either, trying to think of how he would hold the sign. We can make him pose like this, so he can actually hold it. But we've got to secure the sign in first. So even though it has this little hook, we were toying with the notion, do you want to leave it on? Do you want to do whatever? I'm actually going to take the wire and bend the wire behind. This sign, I'll still leave the little bow because I don't want to see it. Kind of gets in the way of Jack. And I'm going to take black pipe cleaners and I'm going to staple them to the sign, because my sign is at least a 1/4 inch thick. So we're going to attach it with a staple gun, not the adhesive ties with, you know, crazy glue, because don't need it. As long as our sign is at least a 1/4 inch thick or greater, you can use staples. If it's not, here's a quick tip, right? Because I've been doing quick tips all week. Take a piece of felt here and then staple from the top through the felt into the sign, and then that way you won't, you know, pop out the other side. So that is a quick tip.
Brenda actually said she shipped something UPS the other day and saved $15.
I need you to put some staples in my staple gun.
Oh.
Because I'm out of staples.
Okay.
So I'm going to have Steve do that real quick. What can I do while I'm waiting? Let's see. We can position him any way we want. Live, so you'll have to just wait till we're done. So I think we're going to try to position a bow right about here, and so let me go over the bow colors with you while Steve's busy. So a lot of crazy colors. I have this Merry Christmas 2.5 inch. It's got a little bit of a furry edge to it, so it kind of plays off of Jack's beard, which is perfect. This came from Craft Outlet. We're going to do this, I call it film strip ribbon when you have the edges on it, just because it's easy for me when I do my materials list. So this came from Craft Outlet as well. This is 1.5 inches. And then we have red lame. We are going to be using, both of these are 1.5 inches. I also have a sheer red with a fur on the edge. So we're going to be incorporating both of those. We are going to be using a black and white 2.5 inch stripe. We're going to be using the red and white film strip ribbon, Hobby Lobby, so anyone can get this. This I think I said was Craft Outlet. Then we have the houndstooth. This is 1.5 inches. It came from Costco. And then the buffalo print, so Hobby Lobby. And these are some really good prices. Right now, Hobby Lobby's Christmas stuff is all 40% off. You don't need the coupon. So if you love some of the ribbons that you've seen in Hobby Lobby, I would suggest, quick tip, go get them now, because the first week of December, they won't be there anymore. They'll all be sold out. So got my staples. So we are going to staple our sign. And this is just a Black & Decker Power Shot. I get it because it's ergonomically correct. So instead of you having to push this way, you just push down. Lowe's, Home Depot, Amazon carries them. But this way, you have no need to use anything because your staples are going to stay in. We'll give them a couple twists so they don't kind of pull out from the staples, and then we're good to go there.
Mary, the piece of tempered glass that you use at Walmart, it's just a standard cutting board at Walmart. It's glass, it's tempered, it's smooth on one side and kind of beveled on the other. So that's what y'all need to do is go to Walmart and find the glass wood burning or the glass cutting tool or cutting board.
Yeah. Well, I plan on doing quite a few quick tips throughout. I don't know if I'll be able to do them every day. It's just as I'm walking through something, I'm like, oh, this would make a good quick tip. Hey, let's do this real quick. So I am just wiring this in, like trying to think.
Hi, Christina.
Logically, he would hold his hands.
Hi, Ronnie.
Like that.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it just looks funny when it's actually in his hands. Like, it's like Mickey hands or something.
Well, they're a bit big, so.
Yeah, I wish the wire went all the way down to the fingertips and then you could position the fingertips, but no. So.
Donnie said this will be my second year of making wreaths, so I watch your lives to learn as much as possible.
Oh, awesome.
As you know, with each wreath that you make, you're still learning as you go.
Absolutely.
So I listen for as many tips as I can. We all do.
I
Kat
still do.
Yep.
Yeah, I like pick the brains of people that are doing stuff that I've never seen. I'm like, hey, how'd you do that? Where'd you get that? So, actually.
Well, there's gals like Jolie and Christina and Brenda. All sorts of gals have given us tips and tricks. So
it's sharing and being a huge community and figuring out where everything's at. So it depends. You can leave his beard out. It's entirely up to you.
Yeah.
I think his hands will eventually kind of settle there.
Yeah.
And there's his little hat. So now we're going to add the bows or the ribbons. So I already went over all the ribbons with them while you were gone.
Gotcha.
So we're good there.
Judy said how cute that wreath is. Hi, Kathy.
Thanks. Okay, so the 2.5 inch ribbon is all cut to 13 inch lengths. The 1.5 inch ribbon is all cut to 15 inch lengths. That's usually my standard for if you want your ribbon to come out as far as your deco mesh is, considering that if you take a 13 inch ribbon, cut it in half, that's about 6.5 inches. So that leaves you going halfway in, 6.5 inches to come out. So that's how I make my determination. Also doing a mock-up helps, which is just cut enough material to do like 1 or 2 pencil twist ties, and then decide how you like it, position your jack in there any way you want, and then go from there.
Yep. Brenda also gave a good tip that she said she wanted a nice smooth piece of glass that didn't slide when I used the wood burning tool.
Right.
So she went to a glass place that her husband called, and they just cut the size that she needed.
Yes, I've done that before for my daughter's side tables.
Yeah.
When she first moved here, she wanted things that she could insert underneath her like nightstand. So we had glass cut, and they beveled the edges so she could put it on top of her nightstand, but still tuck all of her movie tickets or pictures in there. So
Rachel said, thank you for all your tutorials. I've learned so much from you. You always explain everything so well.
Thank you. So I am just going around and just putting in the 2.5 inch tails, and I'm toggling 4 different colors. So I have the buffalo, I have the film strip red and white, I have the black and white striped, and then of course the Merry Christmas. So I'm trying to pick and choose like a black in between like a black and red, or vice versa. There's really no rhyme or reason. I just happen to like all of them, and I couldn't decide between 2 or 3 or 4. So I was like, hey, I can still do 4. So
Mary said, thank you both. I've heard you speak of it in the past. I need to put it on my shopping list, which is the glass cutting mat.
yes, I will be doing a quick tips on, and I'll show you how to use the wood burning tool. It'll be sometime this week. So I'll just do a quick tip when we're ready to start cutting for a future project.
And Sandra, you are so true. She said some people don't want to share how they did their work.
Why?
So why?
I only make one.
This is a public group. I mean, you can see how you're doing it. If you need to, you can stop and watch the whole video and pause it so you can see how you're doing the work. So.
But I think it's just the whole sharing aspect, maybe. Some people don't like to share how they do anything.
Yeah.
So
plus, there's not too many other crafters that zoom in on Publix. They just keep it zoomed out. There's a couple, so.
Yeah. So, like I said, for me, I just do one design anyway. So I'm like, once I do this, if you want to replicate it, go ahead.
Yeah.
It's all done. I have no issues with that whatsoever. Like, you can't copy my design. You can't put this on your page.
Yeah.
So
Kathy, we're praying for you. She said, hey, from Palm Coast, Florida.
yes, we are.
Hurricane winds whipping around outside.
like I said, I'm praying. Definitely praying. Although I was talking to Gail today. I get this text message somewhere in the middle of my afternoon. It's like, just wanted to let you know that Michael's is all boarded up as of 9 a.m. And I'm like, what were you doing out? Creating the craft thing. Were you looking to pick up a handful of supplies so that you could be hurricane ready?
If she's going to be boarded up, she might as well be crafting, right?
And I said, and if they were open, would you have stopped by? She's like, maybe. So, yeah. Yes. Absolutely.
Judy said, I made my first wreath watching Kat. She's an awesome teacher.
Oh, thanks, Judy. Do you remember what that wreath was? I'm always curious. Okay, I'm like trying to keep my sequence of colors the same. For some reason, this reminds me of Beetlejuice. Why sis? Is it because his outfit was vertically striped,
yeah,
right?
his suit was vertically striped, yeah, black and white.
That'd be a good wreath. Hasn't been done before that I know of. Beetlejuice.
Faith said, I'm staying up a little bit late to watch you since we have a half day tomorrow due to the hurricane.
Aw, thanks for joining, Faith.
And Tracy says, Kathy, I'm up from you in Port St. John, not too far from you. The winds are crazy.
Oh, okay.
Tina said, do you put the ribbons on each pipe cleaner where you put the ruffle deco mesh? Yes.
Yes. So great question. So every single one of those little fuzzy pieces, I think I found where. This is where I always find it for sure. It was in between one of the ones on the outside. So as I'm getting ready to put the pipe cleaners, and I start just around the outside, just because the ones in the middle are already like, they're under Jack or they're under the sign. So I don't need to worry about doing any of those. So now that I found where I left my missing ruffle, I was like, I know, I counted. So yes, I'm just putting them on the outside.
And Tina, yes, she normally puts all the 2.5 inch down first in each one, and she alternates the colors if she's got different colors. And then she'll go back in and put the 1.5 inch right on top of it.
Yes, I won't open the pipe cleaners or the little, what do you call these? Tinsel ties.
Tinsel ties, yep.
Yeah, I won't open them. I just keep adding on top of them. So I'm only like twisting them like 1.5, 2 times, because then I'll come back in and know that I'm still gonna keep layering. So even though I know I'm gonna be putting a bow here, I'm still going to do the one to the outside to complete the path, complete our sequence as we go around. So I chose not to incorporate black into the deco mesh. I chose to incorporate the black in the pops of ribbon and the sign, and that was it. That was where my whole thought process was. What?
Well, Kitty's also on the east coast of Florida. She said, appreciate all those prayers.
Make sure mine's right.
No.
Gail
said, I was in and out throughout the day. The weather's not bad here yet, but tomorrow might be another day because Gail's further up by Jacksonville with Peggy.
Oh, yeah.
And then Peggy said she evacuated her friend's house but brought wreath supplies in case we lose power. You know where your priorities are.
Yeah, I mean, what else could you do? She would be sitting in the house with no power, waiting for power to be restored, and it doesn't take any power to make a wreath because we don't need any power tools. Glue, maybe, but you could wait on that and get everything done. I actually went out of sequence, so I messed up because I was like, wait a sec, we should be
going back and fixing it.
Yeah, I had to go back and get the film strip ribbon in here.
So Helena, she always puts her ruffles in to where the top and bottom, the tops are facing the inside and the bottoms are facing outside, and where she pinches is sideways along the wreath, if you get it.
Yes.
And that's what she ties into the tinsel tie.
Exactly.
Yep.
Good job. I'm just making sure. Okay.
So Peggy said she just got the Halloween Jack yesterday.
Oh, really? Okay, I'm envious. I couldn't find. Well, the Halloween Jack is just the black and white Jack, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Let us.
Okay, she got the Santa sign from a new company.
Diamond Dust Signs.
Diamond Dust Signs.
Yes.
On Etsy?
On Etsy. Yeah, it's the only place I could find them. Actually, what I did is I went to Etsy and I looked up Jack Skellington signs, and I think that's how it came up. And the price, sometimes the prices are a little high, so you know, I can't do $22 or $25 for the sign, because you're like, okay, then I have to do the embellishment and the wreath and the deco mesh and the ribbons, and I don't want a $200 wreath by the time I'm done. So I have 2 extra pieces, and I know why, because this one has 10 on the outside and 8 on the inside. So here's where we're going to kind of change it up and make it a little bit different. Is we are going to, making sure all my colors are right. This was Steve's idea, so I can't take credit for this design idea. So
Sure you can.
no, you were like, if you want, now I'm not telling you how to do your job, but if you want to do this, this would look cool. So we are taking the 1.5 inch ribbon, cut to 15-inch pieces. We're making a half bow with it. So we have black and white, and now I'm taking the red and white, and we are going to do the same thing, half bow, and now we're going to put them together. Because like everything in Jack's world, it kind of has no rhyme or reason. So
He's merging Christmas with Halloween.
He's merging Christmas with Halloween. And what this does is it creates a bow that has 4 tails and 2 loops. And I'll show you what it looks like as we get, I'm like trying to pair the ones that we had agreed upon. So we're going to go the film strip with the solid red.
Yeah, that's awesome. She says, I have a generator, so I can just run a cord if I lose power.
For
She's
the
got it
glue
all
gun.
figured out. Yeah.
Just for the glue gun. Forget the lights, forget the fridge. I just need my glue gun.
Yep. And then Kathy said, did you put just 1 layer of the ruffled mesh in? Yes.
Just one. 20 inches though.
Right. So it makes it really thick.
Yes. So if you go more deco mesh, or longer deco mesh pieces, depending upon what type of deco mesh you're using. So if you're using like Hobby Lobby, Joann's, or Michael's, you're probably going to come away with a lower quality deco mesh, so it's a little thinner. The way to remedy that is to use more of it. So go with larger pieces, and then when you go and you ruffle it or do the cruffle method, it kind of helps balance out that the thinness. On this one though, I didn't really need it. So let me show you, and I'll just spin it around and show you what it looks like. So it's kind of like a half and half. So this is what we're doing all the way around. So we're just doing a half bow and a half bow, and then I just take these just like this, and then I will put them like right where I'm pinching on my fingers. It goes right into the pipe cleaner.
And I think you're alternating your colors too, right?
Yes. So I'm not making all of them the same. So just as long as they're red and white with the black print. So we're mixing those up.
Hey, Mike.
Mike's on.
Yeah. Deborah gave you a really great compliment. She said, does anyone have their first wreath ever made? I have it in my garage, and I can't believe how advanced I have gotten in making wreaths, all because of Kat. So if you don't think you're in a great group, let me attest to Kat is such an awesome teacher, and her hubby Steve gives you wonderful tips too. In fact, my friend said over the weekend she can't believe how beautiful my wreaths are, and she wants a Christmas wreath compared to her very first wreath.
Oh, very cool. Thank you for that.
Yay.
Yeah, that means a lot. And yes, I still do have my very first wreath.
Yep.
Maybe I'll share it today. Or not today. I'll share it this week. It is really, and it's funny because I was like, I have the very first one, and then I have the progression of where I was like, oh, I'm so much better than like last year, and I was like, I look at that and I go, that needs to be redone. That is not going up on our house. All this stuff needs to be redone. So yes, you're always going to be learning, and that's the beauty of what we do. We're always learning, and there's always somebody to teach us something we didn't know.
Peggy said Halloween Jack is at Walgreens. Oh, interesting.
What? Okay, I
We'll have
saw
to
that
check that
last year, and I think we hit our Walgreens. We have quite a few around here. But we didn't see any of those.
Deborah, I think Gloria meant she just finally is able to tune in to one of Kat's live sessions.
What was that?
She said, I finally made a live session. And Deborah said, were you nervous, Gloria?
Oh, yeah. Sometimes it's like they can't, Friday night doesn't work for certain people.
Yeah.
Or we come on a little too early for people on the West Coast. So I just was trying to pick a good time that would be good for everybody. So, and that's the beauty too about these tinsel ties, is you don't have to go crazy like we do on a pipe cleaner, where we have to like really make sure we've twisted them in there enough.
Don, yes, this is just the regular ruffle method, and the pieces of Deco mesh was cut to 20 inches.
I'm like,
Mike said something's wrong with Jack.
ha ha ha. Yeah, we were already listening to the soundtrack before we started. So, yep. Nope, nothing's wrong with Jack.
Nope.
Nothing's wrong with Jack. He's just fine. So,
Yep.
might have to reach out to Peggy. If I can't find any Jacks, I might have to hit you up. Because I do have a Halloween sign one. But I think I might make that one for me.
You just said, love that idea. Great job, Steve. You guys make a great team.
Aw, he's a good team player.
Wynonna said, you're so talented. Love your explanations.
Welcome. Always here to try to help you guys. Like I said, there's some people who are just doing this to, give themselves something to do. There's a lot of retired people that are like, hey, I just want to make things for my home or for gifts. That's usually where it begins. And then what ends up happening is you deliver that gift and that friend says, oh, so-and-so made that for me. And they're like, do you think she'll make me one?
Mm-hmm.
And then before you know it, you're in business. But it's all for a good thing, right?
Absolutely.
Always good. So, yep. Once we get all our little half bow thing conglomerations pieced together, we'll create our bow for Jack, and then we get to embellish it with some crazy funky things that I think we would find in Jack's version of Christmas. I think that's what it is. Right?
Oh yeah, Christine, she said, Kat, I'll have to send you a pic of Jack I did last Christmas.
Yes,
Yeah,
send me
set it
pictures.
on the public group.
Yeah, just post on my page. I'm not going to be like, oh, what's that person doing? Post it on my page.
Yeah.
No, post away. Feel free. I have lots of people sharing their designs.
Rachel said, I really like the half foot tip. It looks awesome.
Isn't it weird? Kind of like, what?
Yeah. Gail said, it's past my nap time. You know I'll be up in 4 hours texting you.
Yes, you will. But I'll be here. You can always text me. Always, always, always. So, this process just takes a little bit of time to match them up and then push them in there and then get them all twisted down.
And Sarone said, hey Kat, I'm so happy to join in.
Oh, where are you from?
A bit late, but it's so beautiful, so grateful, and thank you, Kat, for all the free lessons.
You are so welcome. You guys get 7 days. That's like crazy.
And if you want to learn even more, join your private group.
Yeah, because you guys get access to my entire library since February of last year. So any and every design that I have built, created, taught the group, it's all available to you. Here's that. So I have a couple more. So I probably cut a couple too many because I didn't factor in the 10 versus 8 instead of, 12 and 6.
Yeah.
That's what happens sometimes when you do the work frame wreath. And you're so set on 6 inside, 12 on the outside, and then you do this and you're like, whoops, cut way too many. Because we only have 10 on the outside and 10 on the outside, 8 on the inside. And actually I had to move one of the inside ones to the outside because with doing 4 sets of ribbon, you need an even number. So I would have come off with some funky doubling up somewhere. So,
Katie said I posted the wreaths I made during the hurricane and I picked up 5 more custom orders in just 24 hours. That's awesome.
awesome, Katie. Good job.
Yep.
That's the way you do it. You just gotta let people know that it's available, and social media is so great to do that. You don't have to have an Etsy store to sell your wreaths. You can do it right off your Facebook business page and start there. And then, like I said, for the person who was just doing it for gifts for family and friends, and you're turning it into a full-time gig. So here's the 4 that I had left. So this is exactly what I should have left over, knowing I didn't calculate, but that'll easily be absorbed somewhere else.
Really? What, all you have left is the bow?
The bow and the embellishments.
You want to pick it up really quick?
Of course. So there's Jack.
Yay.
And I am just twisting him so that I don't, when I pick this up, twisting his little, see, he's got his little thing, his little beard.
Yep,
So
and you
leave
can tuck
that.
the beard in or put the beard out.
It's whatever. And the diamond dust sign, so here's something to be familiar with, and maybe they had mentioned it or maybe they didn't. They covered their sign with like sparkly snowy glitter, so when, I don't know if you can see it, when you move the sign in and out, it kind of sparkles.
Yeah, a little bit you can.
So they do that on all of their signs. So if you wanted something perhaps without this on it, which is probably what I would do the next time, is just put in a special request and ask if they could not put the stuff on your signs. But all of the signs on their shop, they do that to all of them. So we're gonna do our bow.
Allison, wow, she said so late we'll have to watch from the replay. Good morning from Australia.
Welcome from
Good
down
morning,
under.
Allison. Thanks for joining.
So what
Happy
we're gonna
Wednesday
do,
morning.
right? So I don't want to get overly crazy because we have this much real estate. I don't want to really cover Jack, although we could move Jack over and scoot him that way. So let's see, what do I have if we just use the 1.5?
Penny, she got the Jack from Amazon. But you can find her on Etsy or eBay, anywhere.
I'm just
Shop around.
I might just use one. I might just use the Merry Christmas ribbon for the 2.5 base, and then just use all the 1.5 inch colors just to create the bow. So I'll do it in some haphazard manner. So with the 2.5 inch ribbon, remember this is from Craft Outlet. So now I can demo for you the dovetail cut. So if you're like me, Christmas time, trying to do, you happen to have tons of ribbon now to decorate your packages. But for a long time, I would do the standard cut in, and hope that they met in the middle. But there's such an easier way to get that perfect cut. It's fold your wired ribbon in half. So you have the wired edges here. Here's my fold. You're gonna go from the folded edge to the point. So just like this. So here we go, right to that point. And then look, we don't have any like splices because we went a little too far into the hole, and perfect dovetail cut. So that's how you dovetail cut all of your ribbon. So now your packages will look amazing. So I think I want it just long enough that the Merry Christmas hangs out. I'm thinking this is about 8 inches, and it is. So using the bow dabra, push this off to the side, we are just going to twist. So in the bow dabra, it's twist, and then you just insert that. So it's like a little set of fingers that hold this, and it'll spread farther apart the more you stack your ribbon. So for me, I flip it over just because it's easier to turn it rather than to take my ribbon and turn it. So we're gonna do the same thing, do a twist. And then, let me see what these...
Like 4?
Yeah, I wanna go about 5. So...
Katie, she'll tell you then how much she's gonna price them at.
Oh, the Jack?
Yep.
We'll see. If we put everything in it that I think we will, yeah, I think he'll stay priced up there where the Grinch was. So what I do is I keep this on like your 20s or 25s, and then it's easier for you to measure out where 5 inches is. And then you go your 8 inches on this side. But always be prepared. Sometimes you might have to cut your tails down if it impacts your sign or it gets in the way of your whatever you have going. You don't want to cover it up. So quick tip number 4, Dollar Tree scissors. Can't begin to say how wonderful these are.
Betty Crocker.
Yeah, the Betty Crocker scissors, which you can get at Dollar Tree. You go into the kitchen section because they're basically made for, they're in kitchen utensils. So for $1, they're amazing for just about everything. So you can get your Gatorade top, so it has like the little bottle opener here, but it doesn't damage your good scissors, like your Fisker scissors for sewing.
Great for cutting wired ribbon.
Or cutlery scissors.
They last a long time. You could literally buy 3 of them and it'll last you a year and a half.
Yeah, I usually buy like 5 and then I just throw them in the closet. So I think we're going to come in with the red sheer, because otherwise if we put the sheer closer to the top, because it is sheared, like really sheared, you're not going to really see that. So
I love those 2 ribbons because they match the beard and all the fuzzy from Jack.
They do,
perfectly. Yeah.
You would think that I planned that way, right?
You would think, right?
You would think that maybe I did. That's like what I was looking for as I went through all my Christmas ribbon and looking for anything. I know I needed at least 3 2.5-inch ribbons. So I'm still doing 8-inch tails.
Katie asked how much was the Grinch. I never saw the price of it.
Oh, the Grinch, he was $149.99. And I think I sold him.
Just a couple days later.
Yeah, I had so many people private message me saying I have to have it. My husband's like a huge Grinch fan. I had people from Australia asking me to ship it down there. They didn't care how much it cost. I was like, well, I wish I had abundance of singing Grinches, but it was just a one-up thing.
Yep.
And that's what I like to do. That's the whole basis behind my business, is that masterpiece. So everyone who purchases a wreath is getting that one-of-a-kind item. They know there's not going to be another Grinch out there that I did for somebody else. So now we're going to come in with this. And then I think I'm going to go the red, and then we'll do our houndstooth at the end. What do you think? Or should we go...
I have to say red at the end.
Like that?
So the black and white and red at the end?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I was going to say either that or the red at the end.
Oh.
Yeah.
There's so much red going on. Like red everywhere.
Yeah, I agree.
So I always like to put at the very top part of my bow, the very last ribbon that I put in there, something patterned, something pretty. So either the houndstooth or the film strip, because it's different, it's unique.
Thank you for sharing, Leslie. We're going to ask everybody here, if you can, please also share.
Oh yeah.
Kat's trying to get her numbers up on Facebook and YouTube.
Yeah, can you believe that Facebook's got this thing with 10,000. They like 10,000 subscribers. So there's a lot of tools I can't access until I get to the 10,000 subscriber number, and I'm like right at 9,400. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Really? I can't do this. I can't have access to these analytical tools to see how engagement's running. All right. Well, maybe at the end of the year. So we're gonna try.
Good question, Debbie. She said, what makes you decide for 2 loops to 3 or 4 loops per ribbon? Is it because of the number of ribbon you plan on using in the bow?
Yeah, in this case it would be the number of ribbons that I want to do. I want to do more of it. So if I had 3, I would probably, knowing that you're going to separate like a bow and a tail and then a bow and a tail, if you wanted to have multiple tails or multiple bows, like this case, it's going to be a tail in the front with the bow in the back, and then a bow in the front and the tail in the back. So it's going to kind of be a kind of like a scattered bow.
Right.
But if you wanted it like this, you wanted everything brought forward, then you would do 2 loops on each side.
Right. And if she was just going to use 2 or 3 ribbons, then she would do
add more loops.
4 loops, right.
Yeah.
She's using a lot of different ribbons, so she only needs 2 loops per.
So if you were just doing something relatively small, like a centerpiece or like a lantern swag, I would probably, if I was doing a lantern swag, it's generally going to be a lot of color ribbons, but very little. Like I don't want it overly big.
Right.
So it just depends on what look do you want. Do you want a big, full, puffy bow, or do you want something real small and simple? Or
What?
do you want something with long tails? I was trying to think of where I was going with that thought. Something with long tails. If you're doing long tails, it has to kind of hang off to the side. So it's either got to be like here and have the long tails go here, or I generally put it in the bottom right and then have the tails cascade down the bottom part of the wreath. So,
That's weird, Trisha. She said mine isn't showing a share button.
really?
Yeah, and we know she's in both her private group and she's following, so that's weird.
I've noticed in some instances, and I've even done that before, even in my brother's videos, sometimes the share button isn't there. So here we go.
Yeah, so Tina, on this one, because she's using a lot of ribbon, she's only doing 2 loops per each ribbon.
Yeah, because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different ribbons. So it's going to get crazy busy, but not overly busy.
Yeah.
And so this allows me to kind of look at it.
So she's going to have 10 loops total.
I will have 10 loops and 10 tails,
And 10 tails.
right?
Yep.
So, and I like something patterned just to be on top for interest. So, we're doing the same as the other one. Okay. And I forgot to dovetail the red, because I see it right there.
Apologies for the loud noise right now. It'll go be done in a
A leaf
second.
blower. He was supposed to be here like this morning.
He was.
So I'm
I'll have
trimming
to
this
talk to
down.
him.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's just the weather, probably the heat. Okay, so I just kind of trimmed that up, looking at where this one was in relation. I was like, well, that's really long like this one is too. So let me go ahead and trim this one down. And I might still end up trimming them by the time I get it on. So now, knowing that I have red, white, and black on top, I can do red, white, or black pipe cleaner. Sometimes I'll pick a color that's completely different from here with all the red pipe cleaners, because if a customer wants to take anything off, I try to make it as easy to find as possible. So like if they want to take the sign off, we know it's the black pipe cleaner. So we're going to go ahead and do this.
Thank you, Allison, for sharing.
And so now we're just going to twist.
Hi, Cindy.
4, 5. Put this back, because we're all done with the Odabra. And let's see. Since I have all these tinsel ties right here, they're going to impede how my bow sits in the bottom. So I am going through and taking these out.
Oh, interesting. Trisha said I figured it out is because I'm watching it as my Facebook business page and not my personal page.
Yep. We've been figuring a lot of that stuff out lately.
And then Kathy Reederson said I want to shout out to Trisha Allen for bringing me 4 pumpkin wreaths. We had a nice visit and got to put a name with a face. That's awesome.
That is so cool. I like that. I'm so glad that you guys were able to do that and help each other out. So I just cleared out the tinsel ties that were right here. So we have a to fluff on the wreath. Otherwise I have to fluff off the wreath and then put it on the wreath and then refluff it when it's back on the wreath. So I'm just going to save myself a step And we don't want to pull it too hard, because if we do, it goes like this, and then all your sit kind of nice on the top. Make sure that you hit the metal frame.
But yeah, you can definitely see the sparkle on the sign.
On the sign?
Yeah, when you angle it like that.
Ooh. I know, right? Okay, so
Trisha said it was so much fun getting to meet Kathy, so that's good.
So now when we're doing our fluffing of our bow, you take your loop and tail. So knowing that it's up here, I don't want my loop down here. I'd rather have it my tail forward and my loop backwards. So now I have this.
Whatever you're doing
ribbon
on one side, you're doing opposite.
Yeah, you go completely opposite. And then that gives you a really good overall. Anything. So we're doing the same thing. We bring our tail back and our bow forward. And then if you run your hand under your loops like so, it kind of puts the curl back into your this kind of puts that little ankle back into your ribbon again. That's why we use whatchamacallit. And what I'm trying to do is stagger the different colors in between everything. Just kind of.
Hi Regina, hi Amanda.
Last one.
Oh, Deborah's back on. Sounds like some of them got cut off and they're coming back on.
Okay. I was like,
Jessie, thank you. She said. Or just
diamond dust signs.
Diamond dust signs.
Yeah,
sorry.
ignore what Steve said.
Diamond dust signs.
Exactly.
On Etsy.
Exactly. On Etsy. Bow look good?
Yeah, looks beautiful.
Okay, so now it's time to embellish a little bit. It's time to bring some of the Jack fun Christmas elements in. So let me make sure my pins don't wind up on the floor, because with cats in the kitchen.
Yeah, a lot of the gals are saying it's freezing up. It could be because of the weather.
It could.
Could be Facebook.
Let me move these back into my basket.
Yeah, Gail said Facebook stinks tonight. Gail said Facebook stinks tonight.
I'm sorry, guys. Alright, so these are my embellishments. So I have, you guys have seen these at Hobby Lobby, the candy picks. So we have some candy picks. Our cat found the plastic bag, or paper bag.
Yeah.
We have some of these, which I definitely want to make sure we incorporate probably somewhere in behind this ribbon with all the curly cues and fun stuff, because this looks like Jack's World. And then, let's see this. You want to turn the air off?
You want to know?
Yeah, because then it does the funky thing in the camera. So then we're going to add a really quick. In these picks, all of them came from Hobby Lobby. Again, at their 40% off, you kind of can't beat the price. So I'm just snipping off some packages, so we'll kind of tuck these kind of in here. Probably right here. I'm just looking at placement. We'll go ahead and cut these ones off. Of these. And even if you don't use all this stuff, like the lime green just to me looks more Grinch than Christmas. So we'll probably set those aside for a later date. So kind of spacing these out.
Yeah, you really only need a few, right?
Yeah, I might do this one more down here. And then this one here. I try to put them to, like, I try not to overly decorate the top because no one's going to be looking at the top. It's kind of yet.
Karen, interesting question, says, who is this Jack character? I'm unfamiliar with him.
You don't know who Jack Skellington
I
is?
hope you're familiar with him.
She does not have to be familiar with him. He's Disney.
He's Disney. He's from The Nightmare Before Christmas. He's a huge, kind of a cult movie that has a huge following.
It does.
For years and years and years. He's been around for decades now.
Who was
like
it?
20
though?
years, I think.
I'm trying to think, like, the people that were big fans of, what is it, Little Shop of Horrors? Jack Skellington and Nightmare Before Christmas was like, kind of like our generation and our kids' generation.
He's a Tim Burton
the same
film.
thing.
It's a Tim Burton film, right.
So now I'm kind of angling these. So I'm looking at, like, okay, where is this going to impact in my ribbon? So I use Gorilla Glue, and I'm just angling these right on top of, like, as you guys are seeing it here, I'm just kind of tucking these little packages in. So I use one side and put a lot of Gorilla Glue on it. So we always want to make sure we're overly careful. And I'm just
Karen, there's your homework for this Christmas season is to watch
Nightmare
Before Christmas. It's a huge following. A lot of people love it.
Here's the simple thing, right? Jack he's like in charge of Halloween. And so he gets bored with Halloween one day and happens to venture upon Christmas, where he's been sad about Halloween because, like, Halloween is just boring now. It's the same thing year after year. So when he goes and visits Christmas Town and sees Santa, he thinks that he can bring some of that sparkle and newness into Halloween Town and decides to dress up like Santa and take over Christmas. So, yeah. Obviously, you can kind of get the premise behind it where it's not going to turn out good because his version of Christmas is Halloween's version of Christmas, so it's more creepy than fun, right?
And the interesting thing is the movie was all done like in the old days in claymation.
Yes.
So it took years to put this movie together.
So I'm just like looking at how, when I'm looking at the wreath, how do I want the packages? Like, do I want them bows facing, bows not facing? And it's funny because without even realizing it, it's like they were toggled red lids, green bottoms, red bottoms, green lids, and I happened to pull exactly the same amount to wind up where they're supposed to, so I don't have green and green now.
Mary, we actually buy our Gorilla Glue sticks from Amazon. You can find them at Home Depot or Lowe's, though.
Yeah, because I buy them in a big bag.
Yeah, we buy them like a bag of 100.
Yes. So, okay. So that's all added in. Let me flip it around so you guys can see it, your version. And then let's go ahead and add this. So let's remove our price tag, which is always nice. Thank you, Hobby Lobby, for that. And so I think what I want to do is I don't want to put the whole pick in.
Behind the bow?
Oh yeah, I would go behind the bow. I could, but look. See what this would look like. That just kind of like, it sticks out a tad too much. Yeah, look.
Yeah,
let me see how far out this would be.
Yeah.
So if I had to box this up, this part would be okay. These parts might not be. And do they bend? Let's see. Do they bend on wire?
Yep.
No, they do not.
David says Walmart has them also. Yeah.
What's that?
The Gorilla Glue sticks.
Oh, okay. Although I really like that.
Yeah, we found them there before.
What do you guys think? Do you think I should break up the pick, or do you think I should put the whole, I'm trying to like angle this down so I can actually get the whole thing in. So let me just do it this way. So it's shorter. Although when I did that, it didn't really change the layout, it just made it thicker. So, gotta get bigger, meatier pliers. this way.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, no. Well, I cut it, I just had to. Okay, so let's see what that would look like if we glued it in. Trying to get the, because you can move, these things will all move around. What do you guys think? Should we
Sue
do
said
it
don't
like
feel
this?
bad. I didn't know who he was either.
That's
Much
okay.
older.
It's okay. So what do you think? Should we do it like that? Should we break it apart or should we just leave it?
Angle it up more so we can see it.
Oh, sorry.
What do you guys think?
Should we leave it or break it down and add it around? What do you think? Whole pick? Break the pick apart?
Evie said I like the whole thing. I'm not sure. I think you should kind of break it down.
But I'm thinking I like it like that.
Karen said whole thing.
See?
Okay.
We're going whole thing. So we do have to cut it down a little bit more because it has no place to go right now. And so what I'm doing is cutting every single one of those picks wires because here's where all the wires were.
You have to glue all the ends of it.
But let me make sure.
Everybody said leave it. They like it.
I like it too. Okay. So you can stretch these out as much as you want. So we just want to make sure. Okay. So let me lift my bow so I know right where we're going. And then this, quick tip, we talked about this last time. We did this in the private group though. Silicone glue pads. So yes, you can get them from Amazon, but my recommendation is get them bigger, like the 11 by 17 ones that go on your baking sheet. And then you have an entire area that as you're dragging your glue gun back and forth, like this, you just pick up your glue when you're done, either throw it away, or if you're like me and you have a glue skillet, I just take this and throw it back in my glue skillet. So, you're gonna
Well, the majority is whole pick. I just said take it apart, and one of the gals said, Jessie said break it apart, but the majority is the whole pick. So.
Okay, so you saw me take large globs of glue and completely coat the entire top. So now I'm gonna sit here on my silicone pad and pick up the rest on the bottom and make sure. I'm gonna have to spin it.
It's starting to dry.
No, it's starting to unwind as I was doing that. And we're gonna stick it directly into the Deco mesh. Directly into the Deco mesh. And we'll need to refluff our ribbon because I moved the ribbon for us.
Carrie said, hi, I'm new to the live. This is the first time I've ever caught one. I'm near Corpus Christi, Texas.
Thanks for
Welcome,
joining. I
Karen.
got people that are in our private group from Corpus Christi.
Yeah.
New people just joined.
Welcome. Make
So
sure you hit like
absolutely.
and follow. Thanks for watching.
So I'm going to lift that up. So
And feel free to share it on your page too. That way you can always reference back.
I'm just taking the little curly cues and bending them forward so they're not like falling backwards into the hole. And I might just trim some of those ones that are out way too far. Wow.
Even Kitty said she doesn't really know who Jack is.
Okay.
Well, put this year, we love it so much. We usually faithfully watch it at least once a year. It's
Something
one of
like
those.
that.
Yeah, it's one of those Christmas movies we watch at
You
least
have
once
to
a year.
watch. Right. Okay. So let me fluff. Okay, so let me see. Does this look right to you?
Oh yeah, that looks good.
Okay.
Yep.
So we did good.
Yep.
Okay. So now, candy picks. We can incorporate some candy picks off to the side like that. Why do these things have to be so long? Because then every time you're like trying to see something, you're like, it won't go as far as what I'd like. We can add some
What do you
candy.
think, Gal? Candy picks? I don't know.
We can do the candy pick on the other side too.
I'm thinking maybe just leave it with the other one.
I think at least one. So, like just to fill that area, because it's like we have a bow here, but we have nothing here. So like, and we can even take the candy picks and maybe add just like a piece of candy, like break this one up and tuck it in the places that don't have a package.
Regina Sue said looks great. Carol said looks great. Connor said watch her from North Carolina, waiting to see what Dorian has in store for us. Yeah, a lot of the gals in Florida on this live are getting hit as we speak.
So this I would actually glue to the underside of the sign. So let's do that, but let's cut it way down. Wow. So remember the glue that I just did? Well, it's still slightly tacky, but look, I can pull the whole thing off.
And just stick it in our...
It's sticking in my glue pot. So I'll just let it continue to be its little mess.
Oh, Don said I ordered a glue pan or pot from Amazon. It'll be here tomorrow.
Awesome. So I'm just layering the glue on the top because when I stick it under there, I don't want it under his arms. So I'm gonna take it and pull my glue off. Metal skewer or wooden skewer. So tip number 5. Dollar Tree sells wooden skewers. So I use wooden skewers wherever I want to put my finger, but then you can't put your finger there because hot glue would just like be all over your finger. So in this case, I just take the metal skewer and push it.
The wood skewer, yeah.
Oh yeah, wood skewer. So you get a package of 100 of these for $1. So they're like a penny each. So I use these anytime I'm like working with something like the little something I have to glue in there, and I don't want to put my finger in there, but I know I need to get in there to tighten it down. So that's what I will use, is I have a whole drawer full of them. So I just pull those out and use them. So he was just about done.
Awesome.
Let me break my little candy picks down. So I said I would do this. So that's there. And then those places that really don't have anything, I am just going to add some candy. So again, making sure you don't burn your fingers. So I'm just kind of going around the outside. There's a couple places like here and here and here. So I'm just gonna fill. I don't want to do the one between his legs.
Yeah.
And just like, we could. It's not crazy.
I'll probably put it off to the side.
Yeah, I usually try to save all the good stuff for putting it someplace else. So I use the pick side down that I cut off and just kind of stick it on top of my what do you call it? The tinsel.
Yeah. Karen asked Kat, you said you feel like your sales have slowed since offering free shipping.
Yeah.
Are you going to stop?
Nope.
It's sporadic. It's
a hit and miss kind of thing. So I'm just trying to be patient because I understand that when they make changes, it takes 4 to 6 weeks for those changes to happen. So the good thing is that on my website, I don't have to offer free shipping. So I have my website that if people want to go to and see the regular price without shipping, that's the way it's broken down. And then on Etsy, I'm going to let it run and see what happens. See if they really promote their sellers like they say they're going to. So I'm just going to be patient and wait it out. So, and then we'll just kind of tuck this one in. I don't want to get it on his hat. Sorry, Jack. Okay, another glue stick. So right here where I cut my pick off, so I'm going to take the pointed side down and I'm going to attach it to my tinsel tie, just so that we have a little bit of something all the way around the wreath. So, and we're pretty much done. I'll show you what this looks like on a normal size door. The door behind me is a 36-inch standard door for your home. So Steve's flipping up. I just don't want to have these things like fall off. Oop. There they go. Okay.
Yeah, then you can show them the black and orange one.
Oh, the Jack's pumpkin patch?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what's ended up happening. So when you can't go specific nightmare, you can go things that allude to it without really being licensed and commercial. You can use the name because Jack is Jack-o'-lantern. It doesn't necessarily mean anything. So, okay, I think I'm good. So yeah, this was the Jack pumpkin one. So this was my version of that. Didn't want to bring the door down. And now we'll put this one up on the door. So I'm trying to make sure. So let's flip him this way. So it's entirely up to you how you want to pose the arm, how you want to do the legs. Obviously, you know, you can do whatever you want. You can make him say hi if you want. It's entirely up to the customer. You would want to include in your ad that he has posable arms and legs, and you can pose them. You can remove the sign if you don't want the sign and you just want Jack there. I'm going to make it easy for the customer to simply untwist the sign and pull it off. And then they can use the sign and, I don't know, maybe hang the wreath lower and hang the sign above him. They can do that as well. So a couple different options on how they can decorate him, but what do y'all think?
That was beautiful. Yeah. There's a lot of people saying it's still freezing big time.
Okay. Well, the good thing is because we are tied in directly to our Ethernet, to our Wi-Fi, even if Facebook glitches out, the video won't. So that's pretty much it, I think. So it just depends on what you like.
Give it lots of loves, lots of likes.
So tomorrow for the live, because we'll be back again tomorrow at the same bat channel, same bat time. So right here, tomorrow at 6, we're doing a Christmas centerpiece using a wooden sleigh. So I'm going to teach you how simple it is to make a centerpiece that you can either sell if you're doing a craft fair this October, November, or even early December. You can take those directly to and put them on your craft table. Number one, they make a nice decor until they sell, but it's also something that you can sell. They're a little bit hard to transport if you were to sell them on Etsy, which is why I generally don't. So they're just hard to package now with that whole dimensional weight shipping thing. So tomorrow at 6, we're making a Santa sleigh. So hopefully you'll join us for that.
Can you show them the orange one really quick too?
Oh, I thought we did.
Not kind of close up.
Oh, so there's this one. So if you're interested in this one, simply send me a message. This would go for $149.99. So, and that's shipping included anywhere in the continental US. So, other than that, everything else is all online in my shop.
Trisha said same cat channel, same cat time.
It is, right. We don't have to do Batman. Okay.
So
perfect.
tomorrow we're doing it again at same time?
At 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock right here, and I'll show you something new. And that's my whole goal, is every little bit, every day I'm going to show you something new. Everything from centerpieces to lantern swags to Christmas wreaths to just fun, whimsical, everyday wreaths. So there'll be something every day for 7 days. That's my goal. All right, everyone. Be safe, you hurricane people on the eastern seaboard. You're in our thoughts and prayers. We'll keep in touch with people. If you're interested in my private group, it's $17 a month, and you can sign up at KatsCreations, the letter N, more.com. Scroll all the way to the bottom, and you'll see all the information about the private group, what you get, and how to sign up, and then you're in. Hope to see you all there. Talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.